Okay, we're going to verify this identity. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to work with the left-hand side of the equation, and I see that both terms have a sine and a cosine. So I'm going to factor out a sine of x, and I'm going to factor out a cosine of x. But remember, you have to factor out the lowest degree that they both have in common. So the lowest degree of the sine, 1/2, is smaller than 5/2. So I'm going to factor out sine to the 1/2 of x, and then cosine of x is a degree 1, so I'm going to factor that entire thing out. And then that's going to leave me, let me show you here, when we factor out the sine of 1/2 x cosine of x, it's like dividing it out, right? Sine of 1/2 x cosine x, it's dividing it out. And when you divide it out, you know what's left for the first term? Well, that's a 1. And then what's left for the second term? When you have those exponents and you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. So 5/2 minus 1/2 is 4/2, which is 2. And then cosine over cosine cancels out. So here we have the square root of the sine of x times the cosine of x. And then I have this guy right here, which is cosine squared of x. And cosine squared times cosine is cosine cubed. So I have cosine cubed of x times the square root of sine of x. And that's how you verify